A young teen enters his bedroom, clicks the red button on his recording device, greets the audience, sits down at his piano, then begins to tickle the keys and tickle our funny bones with a catchy tune, accompanied by hilarious lyrics that scream social satire on levels of lowbrow and high brow. At that time, in those days, the before times, us human beings didn't exactly know what to do with this internet thing, especially this YouTube thing. What did the people want to create? What did the people want to watch? Nobody knew, but somehow a baby-faced comedian named Bo figured it all out. But maybe Mr. Bo Burnham understood it all too well. He foresaw what social media would become. And with his comedy, he tried to remove all filters from the musical selfie that we call life by using social media to make a video on the internet. Then, by making comedy specials about the internet and social media, and then making a film about social media that you can now watch on the internet, and every now and then deleting his social media from the internet. And now, people on the internet are making videos about his relationship to social media on the internet. Is all of this just one big, funny anti-joke? What made Bo Burnham go from clicking the upload button to clicking the delete button? And will he click our funny buttons again? I'm sure he will, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway. What the f*** happened to Bo Burnham? But to truly understand what the f*** happened to Bo Burnham, we must begin at the beginning, and the beginning began when he was born on his birthday, Massachusetts, 1990. I've always had a hard time saying that word, I'm sorry. Growing up in a Catholic family, Bo Burnham's early life was marked by a passion for comedy and music. He began writing songs and performing stand-up comedy in high school. After graduating, Bo decided to pursue a career in comedy instead of attending college, although he was accepted into Brown, Harvard, and NYU. Before his YouTube fame, Bo performed at local comedy clubs and open mic nights, honing his skills and developing his unique blend of humor and music. Then, in 2006, he created his YouTube channel that would eventually launch him into stardom. Bo Burnham's rise began when the precocious 16-year-old started gaining viral traction by uploading darkly humorous, intentionally controversial comedy songs that he wrote and performed in his childhood bedroom in Massachusetts. Sorry, there's just like too many letters for my tongue. Early flashes of infamy, like the song My Whole Family Thinks I'm Gay, showcased Bo's flair for provocative satire, and that he had skills in spitting some social commentary against deceptively juvenile songcraft. You gotta be smart to be stupid. Bo Burnham has since expressed some regret over his politically incorrect triggering content, because I think he feels that a lot of people misunderstood him.
I've had jokes that I thought were taken as the very thing they were satirizing. You know, like were seen as racist when it was meant to be the exact opposite of that.
But it is always a little disappointing when a comedian walks back on a joke, because that's what they are. Jokes. And that's why Bo Burnham is hilarious. This man was not afraid to go after anyone, equally making jokes about everyone under that brave and stunning rainbow. There's no denying Bo tapped into a defiant anti-establishment spirit which resonated with us disaffected youth. But for some reason, because, he plays the piano and stuff, many comedians would, disrespect Bo's craft, claiming that he's not a true stand-up comedian or whatever that even means. So it always felt like Bo had to prove himself, And then Bo surprised us all by making the unprecedented leap to becoming the youngest performer in history to record a televised half-hour Comedy Central special at just 18 years old. His hilarious ability to seamlessly blend disarming musical talent with thought-provoking cultural criticisms was on full display on his first 2 albums for the network. The 2009 special titled Bo Burnham, and 2010's Words, 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 While courting constant controversy by satirizing taboo topics like race, religion, and sexuality, Bo was quietly beginning to exhibit grander artistic ambitions that would reshape the boundaries of contemporary comedy. His Words special featured cunningly choreographed multimedia production elements that hinted at Bo's vision far beyond the conventional comedy stage. The young firebrand was both profiting off cheerful violations of modern decency while laying the groundwork to utterly demolish the tired conventional wisdom about a stand-up comedian's role in this thing that we call, art or whatever. He would spend the next decade in a constantly evolving campaign to completely redefine the very notion of what a comedy special could be and contain,
while still staying true to himself.
That metamorphosis accelerated with Burnham's audacious 2013 Netflix special, What?, which found him shedding the final creative restrictions and fully embracing a deconstructive avant-garde style that showed us all the bold ambitions that would become his brand.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the Store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
Even as he deconstructed and ridiculed society's most deeply held assumptions, he could still command laughter throughout sophisticated long-game misdirection and manipulation of tone and cadence. He knew how to play with his words, and it made you go, what? Bo would next create, write, and star in 2013's MTV sitcom satire, Zach Stone is Gonna Be Famous. Viewed in retrospect, the show's depiction of a hopelessly fame-obsessed teenager tearing down every conceivable boundary to fuel his narcissistic delusions feels ahead of its time. Now every teenager is Zach Stone. While the series only lasted a single season, because nobody watched it, it did mark the arrival of Bo Burnham as a satirical voice to pay attention to. Sure, he had a lot of fans that really loved him, really got the joke. He has like the nicest hecklers in the business. But was his audience big enough to keep his career going? Was Bo's material and sense of humor too smart or too dumb for a mass audience? He did make memorable appearances on the sketch comedy shows The Kroll Show and Key and Peele, all while he continued pushing the medium of stand-up multimedia even further in his daring 2016 Netflix special Make Happy, an iconoclastic blend of exquisite choreography, tonal whiplash, and just like pure performance art in the best way possible. It's also funny. Make Happy deconstructs the entire notion of comedy, stand-up comedy. It doesn't have to be a night of straightforward, escapist laughs. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But in addition to that, Bo Burnham uses joke-telling as a smokescreen to smuggle in a hilarious attack on the entire entertainment industry, while also making points about the emptiness at the heart of fame. And yeah, it's funny. Also, Make Happy foreshadows the breakdown of the formal boundaries between creator and consumer, which, as we know, will reach its absolutely bonkers apex in Bo's later works, as he completely dissolves that fourth wall altogether and turns the lens fully inward in a revolutionary act of candor and unflinching public therapy. Bo was about to go no place where we thought a Bo could go. But in the immediate aftermath of all of this success, he found himself in the grips of a mental health crisis, suffering from depersonalization and a complete inability to engage with day-to-day existence, describing the feeling as barely coming out of my breath. Bo has always made jokes about his depression, but honestly, sometimes it's hard to tell if this man is asking for help or telling a joke. Probably both. But I don't know anything. These bouts of disassociation, depression, and panic led to some nightmarish live performances, where Bo Burnham seemed to fully unravel on stage in public view. Sometimes he was having a full-on panic attack and was just doing the show through, tunnel vision or whatever. Bo Burnham made the self-preserving decision to step away from stage performances for half a decade. A stand-up sabbatical, to recalibrate and pursue other creative outlets. In his own words, he says,
"I'd love to do something that doesn't have my stupid face in front of it. I feel like I've exhausted what I can do with my own face."
He expanded his repertoire by directing wonderful comedy specials for fellow stand-ups, like Chris Rock. I remember watching the Chris Rock special and I was like, wow, that was good. And then the credits roll and it says directed by Bo Burnham and I'm like, whoa. He was also appearing in some supporting roles in films like Funny People and the 2020 film Promising Young Woman, where his performance was praised for his emotional range and chemistry with the other characters. The stand-up comedy hiatus paid dividends, as Bo's next major artistic statement saw him broadening into another new medium, cinema, as the writer and director of the 2018 indie coming-of-age drama 8th Grade. It's an absolutely wonderful, empathetic examination of adolescent awkwardness, in the social media age. And boy howdy, did Bo Burnham really do his research on this one. Not that he really needed to, because, he lived this life. They say write what you know, and yeah, the dude knows YouTube. But yeah, he did his research by taking deep dives into YouTube, by watching random vlogs with hardly any views. Just everyday people who just wanted to talk to a camera. And he found that the spirit of his protagonist was all over the web. 8th Grade feels like a deeply personal film, even though Bo isn't a tween girl. But he found that if this film was going to have any depth, then it needed to be through the eyes of a girl, because boys mostly just talk about video games online, and girls seem to use this place to do, some soul searching. At least that's what Bo discovered in his sexist research. 8th Grade received rave reviews, and is considered a cinematic time capsule of, contemporary teenage life. He was the ultimate YouTuber who made the ultimate YouTube movie, but in the most artistic and beautiful way possible. And he reminded us all that, because of social media, 8th Grade kind of lasts forever. And just when we all were thinking, oh, he's moved on, he's just gonna make movies now, and that's totally awesome. In 8th Grade, it's probably his magnum opus about, his statement on what it means to be plugged in, But no, Bo surprised us all again with his 2021 Netflix masterpiece, Inside. A widely ambitious, reality-shattering, comedic juggernaut of avant-garde experimentation, soul-shredding folk confessionals, confrontational anti-comedy, and musical theater extravaganza that together represents the wholesale redefinition of what a stand-up comedy special, quote-unquote special, can contain and accomplish. Filmed entirely solo by Bo Burnham with no crew or audience, back when they shut the whole f***ing world down. Y'all remember that? Yes, this is the only COVID-19 quarantine movie that's actually good. And this is not good, this is great. Inside stands as a brilliant work of artistic stamina and creative wizardry. From a purely technical perspective, every frame of Inside showcases Bo Burnham's boundless visual talents. He knows how to make lights funny and pretty. He is a master of production design. Even though this is just a guy in a room with a camera, that camera goes deep into his soul. It's a heartbreaking, beautiful, hilarious thing to watch. Bo Burnham has rapidly evolved from OG YouTube phenomenon to a trailblazer who is expanding the boundaries of multimedia art, and a prophetic cultural critic, and an insightful cyber-age philosopher, and a fun songwriter. After being largely out of the spotlight since releasing the also wonderful The Inside Outtakes, yeah, even Bo's deleted scenes are better than most things, he is slated to star and write music for an upcoming Sesame Street movie. And no, before you ask, he won't be playing Big Bird, even though he's definitely tall enough. He just knows how to cut to the core of 21st century existence, and is the first true talent to emerge naturally from this horrible, unholy digital ether. He's like Neo from The Matrix, except funny, and he uses all of this as raw material to create hilarious art. And yeah, sometimes it still feels like we're all trapped inside now, you know, in a way. And Bo Burnham, he seems to have built himself a nice little guest house in this existential purgatory to document the hilarious joke that we're all currently living. And maybe that's the point. Maybe we shouldn't look at this as a joke. Maybe we should look at this as a journey. What the f*** does that mean? I don't know. I'm gonna say it and keep it. So yeah, nobody should give a f*** about what the f*** happened to Bo Burnham, because I guess he's doing just fine.